And we are live once again. Take it away, Vice.
Hello, and welcome back to For Hire. My name is Vice. I will be the DM this evening, and tonight I am joined by. Let's go ahead and have everybody introduce themselves while we're at it. Minerva, go ahead and start us off.
Hello, my name is Minerva, and I will be playing Ravi today, the Shatterkai Grave Cleric. Both of which are she/her.
Fantastic. Ava?
Beautiful. Yes. Hi. I'm Avalon, or Ava as you prefer, I suppose. She, her, or they, them, and I play Miranda Hawthorne. She, her pronouns, if you please.
All right. And then Tiff, go ahead and finish off the introductions there for us.
Finishing off the introductions, it's a girl party. Ayana is also she, her. That is also who I play. And I go she, her, they. I'm flexible with things like that. It's fun to see the map popping around while I'm like,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
No, it's cool. It's like, yeah, map, cool. Just be
That does
aware that we're watching as you are doing it.
fantastic. Hopefully that centered it a little bit. It'll take a few seconds to get there. Anyways, thank you all for joining me once again. I'm going to go ahead and go over what has happened last time. You all made your way into Packwitch, each individual, but slowly coming together one by one as Miranda went ahead and took a seat within the gazebo. Ravi shortly after followed, while Ayana took a bit of a detour, pocketing a knife from one of the marketplace sellers, with Miranda then soon following after. After the three are fully acquainted, you all headed over to the local tavern, sat down, had a drink, got to hear some of the local town gossip, and then made your way to the bounty board. You got to see some of the jobs that were up, some about um, the potions from Culinary Perona, the job posted by Ficur Labs, and then another posting about goats going missing from Abigail Ludus, which is the job that you all ended up taking after gathering your potions. You made it to her house. She introduced herself and then essentially told you, I don't know what's happening, but every time that I try to watch over my farm all night, I end up falling asleep, and I am a light sleeper. So if anything were taking my goats, I would know. We ended off the night with Miranda about to take the first watch.
Before we hop in, I don't seem to have access to my foundry. What is?
Oh,
Can you just like privately message the password that you set for my character, like for my account? Um,
it should be the same as your normal account. I haven't changed it.
there it is. Okay. Sorry, it was what it was for the previous for hire games, and I didn't even think to check that. My
Mm,
apologies. Um, I am still, however, named Matilda in the player list, and that is incorrect.
Well, you're going to be Matilda forever, just because.
That's fine. I mean, there's only a couple weeks left after this, so it ain't no
But
fang.
I have a hard time with names sometimes. Ravi was Rivi last week. You're Matilda. We're just gonna roll with it, you know.
It's like the unofficial motto of D&D. Just
Just
roll with it.
roll with it. Yep. It's gonna be the unofficial motto of our streams. Anything, just roll with it. Let's go.
Okay. Sorry, please continue, DM.
of course. So with you starting off our first watch, I would love a perception check, please. As well as just a light description of what you're doing during
Of course.
your first watch.
All right, so that's a 16 on the perception check.
Hmm.
Um, I think for the most part, she's walking back and forth, just sort of keeping an eye on things, but she's also just doing like a thorough inspection of the weapon to make sure it's a functional weapon. Make sure the bolts or arrows that she's using are strong enough to, be effective. And she probably does some like stretching and some general like conditioning exercises and such. Just anything to pass the time. And yeah.
All right. And I'll say with that 16, for the most part, you're walking back and forth, you're focusing on the weapon, focusing on what's going on around you. It is a nice, easy start off to a pretty peaceful night. Of course, you hear the occasional bleats of the goats, a few baas from the sheep within the pen. Um, you hear slight rustling, and if at any point during the night you sit down, whether it be to check out the weapon, if you listen in to the house a little bit, you hear very, very loud snoring throughout the entire house.
uh Miranda just gives a smile at that and continues about her business on the watch.
All right. With that, I believe our second watch was going to be Ravi, correct?
That is correct. As
How
she
do you
just
wake
kind
up
of
Ravi? Or
Well, I
adjust
guess,
Ravi out of their trance?
yeah, that was going to be my first question is like, what does Ravi's trance look like? What are they doing?
Yeah, I mean, she's just kind of lying on her like she's just kind of lying on her bed and just kind of face up with her arms just kind of folded across her chest. If her chest weren't like slowly rising and falling, you would probably think she was a corpse.
Understood. I think for a few seconds, Miranda just watches her to make sure she's still alive, and then eventually, just gently nudges her on the shoulder. Ravi, dear, it is your turn for a watch.
Yeah, she just kind of blinks her eyes open and says, Of course, I wondered if it was going to come up soon. I was keeping track of the time."
Not to
And
worry.
she'll, But you have a good rest, and I'll see what I can do.
Of course, I imagine I will, unless things get interesting.
Yeah, and she will, get up and start her rounds on her watch, as during her watch, she's just going to be, kind of slowly walking around the perimeter of where the goats are, just kind of watching them, keeping an eye on them, occasionally looking out to the woods beyond it. Um, Not really doing anything particular. She has a dagger, but she isn't like inspecting it that much. She's just kind of slowly walking throughout and occasionally pausing to sit down on a fence post or whatever.
Can I go ahead and have you roll that perception check for me?
Okay, I will do that. That is a 10.
All right. I will say, as you were walking around, very similar to Miranda's watch, you hear the bleats of the goats, the baas from the sheep. Um, as you're kind of coming around the corner, you hear a little bit of rustling, but it's likely just that they're getting into the hay.
Mhm.
All right. Is
Yeah,
that
and
it
at the
for
end of
your...
watch, third watch is also me, so same
Oh,
thing.
yeah. If you would like to roll again for me, then.
Yeah. All right. Another perception. Hopefully I roll That's a 9. I'm rolling low.
It was worse.
Oh,
Whatever
no.
there is to see, Ravi's not the one who gets to, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perception is good, so I'm rolling just really low. I have a +6.
I have passed the flame to you, Ravi. Enjoy.
Yeah, you don't remember the exact amount of goats that you counted when you first got here, but it looks about the same.
hmm
So you assume everything's all right.
Yeah, and at the end of it, assuming there's nothing going on, she will go over to Ayana and go gently shake her awake.
Sure thing. Good morning, Ayana.
Mm,
Well,
yeah. What's
good
up?
sunrise.
Yeah, it's like kind of like the sunrise. Not quite like the sunrise yet, but it's getting close. It'll be totally sunrise soon.
Well, good morning. It's been a rather uneventful night so far, but it's time for your watch.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I like it when things are easy.
She nods and goes back to her bed, sits back on it, lies back on it in the same pose as exact same pose as she was before. Let us know if anything goes on, she says as she closes her eyes once more.
Oh yeah, totally, totally, totally.
All right. And Ayana, what are you doing for this watch?
Once Robbie closes her eyes and she steps out to kind of go check things out and see what's going on everywhere, she makes her way up to the shipyard.
All right. Gonna go ahead and zoom out on the map quite a bit. And then bring you way on up here.
Zoom!
All right. Go ahead and roll for me. Hold on, let me make sure that's actually within the view of the stream.
It's good to check those things.
I do not think it is.
Not at the
Give
moment.
me a minute. Alright. The dockyard is in view.
That's better.
Fantastic. All right. And unfortunately, I don't have a token for the individual that you're meeting with.
That's
But go
fine.
ahead and roll me a perception or investigation.
You're gonna get
My
back and
roll
all
is
the
gonna
goats
be-
are gonna be gone.
I probably, that sounds on brand. Investigation is my higher stat, so we're gonna go with that because I know my roll is gonna be low.
Ooh,
Oh, ye little
23.
faith.
Well, you
Well,
gotta
that
jinx it sometimes, I guess.
that makes it quite easy then. As you are walking up to the shipyard, you see uh, another individual kind of like standing by the wall right here. She's leaning against it, like very classic, like rogue trying to look inconspicuous, but in a small town stands out like a sore thumb.
Totally.
And you see a water genasi individual. Um, she is wearing some black leathers, has a like hood up partially covering her hair, and is keeping an eye out when she spots you heading towards her.
She'll walk closely and she'll shift to primordial as she says, guessing that maybe you're Varys?
Ah, indeed. I'm assuming you saw my letter then.
I did. So, like, I'm here. What's up? What can I help you with?
Fantastic. Well, knowing that you have read my letter regarding the, you know, the Ficure Labs, it can be a bit uncomfortable to talk about it when you're too close and they have eyes, so I guess the main thing I wanted to discuss was the fact that they are very much not supposed to be here. They came into the town, told everyone, oh, we're going to be studying the algae in the lake, but have never taken water samples. In fact, we don't see them by the water at all. Nor have they really come out. They seem to stay very much to themselves. Anybody who goes inside of their building, we haven't seen leave. But there is still.
Hold up. So, like, do you, like, work with them? Or how do you know this?
Oh, I've been keeping watch on them since they got here.
Okay, so, like, cool. Who are you? I mean, I know you're Varys, and you, like, left me the note, but, like, as far as, like, the town cares, who are you?
As far as the town cares, I've been one of the sole protectors here for a little while. Everybody here likes to think that, it's slow and that there's not much going on, but for the most part, me and a small group of other individuals have been keeping an eye out and steering trouble out.
Okay, cool. So you're like totally a friend. Okay, got it. Cool. Okay, so this lab, they've got like this other little bounty board going on here. Have you seen like they've got this other bounty that they're wanting to pay like 100 gold. I was trying to talk them up to like 150, but I haven't talked to them yet. So like, what's going on with that?
So, they have had a few bounties being posted and changed out. The payment is always the same, but the item that they're looking for changes. The main thing that we've noticed is that I've had a few friends who have taken the jobs just to see what it's like, and they never describe how dangerous it can really be. Um,
Cool, cool. So, like, this most recent one is talking about, like, this really rare iris. And I'm like, I'm aware that this iris is one of those things that it, like, just doesn't grow, like, ever. And so finding it by itself is going to be kind of like a whole big thing. Um, but, like, if I were to, like, find it and return it, would they pay?
that's what I'm not quite sure of. Nobody has been able to successfully complete a job for them, but, well, how much exactly do you know about this flower that they're looking for?
I don't have my notes because I'm terrible like that. But she would have, she's like, she would have picked up the bounty, like pulled it out. So it was like the question about like the kind of flower. I remember it was an iris of some sort. I remember you saying that it was like super rare and it only showed
Hollowhead iris, I think.
hollow head. Does that sound? That sounds
Yes. Yeah, hollowhead iris, and they just needed the stamen.
right. And so she was going to hold on to the other parts and try to like sell them off for other things too. So she will relay that information besides keeping that secret thing that she was going to keep the rest of the flower to herself.
Yeah. And do you happen to know anything about the flower's nature?
Would I?
You can make a nature survival check. All
16.
right. You know vaguely that the flower itself can be a little bit dangerous because it is known to have, like, somewhat poisonous pollen. Uh, it is not very well documented, specifically for the fact that, the people who experience the poisonous pollen usually don't live to tell the tale. But there have been, like, reports of during, like, heavy pollen seasons or when the wind picks up, it can make people ill who are nearby.
Okay, so like I know it's kind of poisonous, like its pollen likes to spread and it's like hay fever, but on like steroids, it's like super heavy. But there's not really a lot about it because this is a really rare plant. It's hard to actually study in the first place.
I see, so you at least know that much. Um, in that case, if you don't mind, let me give you a little bit of advice if you're looking to take on the job.
Oh yeah, totally.
Just be cautious. I have heard rumors that the plants that they're looking for are not quite plants. I mean, they are. At the end of the day, they are still plants. They photosynthesize, they produce pollen and petals, but they're almost alive also.
Okay, cool. So like they're almost like awakened or something, like bipedal?
In a sense.
Cool, cool. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Absolutely. So we don't know whether or not they're actually going to pay because you say everybody goes there and like nobody comes back. So like your friends that have like done these jobs, what did they do?
So, and her face looks a little bit somber in this moment. I had a dear friend of mine who had taken on a job, decided not to talk to the scientists in charge, because it tends to be that a lot of people who go up to the laboratory without the bounty in hand don't really come out. I don't know how many the townspeople have lost. I don't know how many travelers have been lost in there, but anyways, my friend decided to take on the job itself, not return unless he had the bounty, but he didn't return. I had gotten a message from him, and it was panicked and poorly written, delivered by bird, but haven't seen him since.
Well, you got a message. It's like, what the message say?
That's the thing. And she pulls out this paper. It's been folded. It's a little dirty. There are some like minor tears, but you're looking, if you decide to look at it.
Oh, of course, she decides to look at it.
Can you read Gnomish?
Probably not. Hold on. No.
You can kind of tell, without knowing what it says, you can still see that the handwriting is very sloppy, very rushed. Almost as if all of the characters and letters are blending into one another. Almost in smears. It's, even if you knew how to read Gnomish, it's almost like what's the word I'm looking for? Unrecognizable.
Cool. Oh my gosh, can you read this? 'Cause I don't speak whatever this language is.
See, that's part of the issue. I can read the language and I can't decipher what it says.
Got it. Okay, so finding somebody who knows language wouldn't be helpful because you already know. Got it. Got it. Okay, but like, do you get the gist of it at all, or is it just complete gobbledygook?
I mean, I know that when he was still here with me, his handwriting was always very neat, very precise. So seeing it scrolled out like this, sloppy, messy,
Right.
makes me concerned.
No, I totally get it. People going in, not coming out, friend getting all like freaked out about things, change in handwriting, but like you can't even read what he wrote because it's all kind of sloppy. Totally get that. Okay, cool. So what are you suggesting? You call people out here to talk to you about the lab for some reason. Why? What's the deal?
So I'm looking to figure out how to get them out. In a sense,
Ooh, so like a breakout. Okay. Keep talking.
I'm looking for someone who is definitely strong enough to take on the job and survive.
Okay.
Come back with the part, and when you are getting ready to turn it in, myself and a few others are going to sneak into the lab from the back.
So basically, all I would need to do is just go take care of this plant and bring it back to show you that, yeah, I totally took care of this plant. And then you guys would go do your rescue mission on the down low?
Yes.
Cool, that's easy enough. Is there any sort of compensation for this?
I mean, knowing that you did a good job with something, that you saved people, but I'm sure
Oh,
once
no. I
we actually
totally,
get the
like,
people
yeah,
out, we could
no.
discuss
I'm
other
totally
forms.
down with like saving people and stuff, but there is still, like expenses. I gotta go hang out at the inn. I gotta go eat food. I gotta go do all this other stuff. So like little things to kind of help make it easier for me to be able to go save people certainly helps.
Well, I am sure that there will be some form of rewards if we can end up finding some of the people who have gone missing.
Okay, that's cool. I mean,
And
it's
if they can't
additional
offer anything, I'll figure out something for you.
deal then. Okay, that works. Rock on. She'll hold her hand out for a shake.
She goes ahead and gives you a nice firm grip. Party shake.
Fantastic. And then she'll just kind of like pull away, turn back towards the farm. So I guess we're gonna try to go find the flower probably a little bit later today. So I'll try to meet back with you either like tonight or tomorrow, depending on how well that goes.
Sure thing. Um, I guess just meet back here. Um, I help out here at the shipyard, so if you end up getting done with the job early or have any questions or information, you can find me here.
Amazing, fantastic. I cannot wait to come back and tell you all about it and get my gold. It'll be great. Okay, so I'll see you then. Have a fantastic day. Bye. And she's
Of
gonna like
course.
head her way back to where the sheep have probably all escaped.
Which is really funny. Go ahead and roll another perception check as you come back to the farm.
Okay. Six. Yeah, there's no sheep there.
Yeah, there is exactly 2 out of the at least 10 that were there when you left.
Can we possibly roll some disadvantage ones or something to see if we wake up because of what's happening or what happened to the sheep?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say that both Ravi and Matilda can roll perception with disadvantage.
Okay.
Beautiful.
That's a 14. That's better than the perceptions I rolled before.
You're much better asleep than awake.
I mean, considering Robbie is basically just meditating rather than actually asleep.
Oh yeah, Miranda didn't notice anything. It's a 5.
All right.
Good job, Matilda.
She seems Miranda seems to be like halfway humming a sea shanty in her sleep.
I will definitely say, while you are slowly waking up at this point, Ravi, you, considering the fact that you were asleep, you did not necessarily see whatever it was that took them, but you definitely heard the sounds of like the woods being unsettled. Almost as if there was a small herd running through the woods.
If she hear this, she would actually wake up at that.
All right. So you wake up. I'll say Ayana's just walking back at this point. And I'll
She'll
say
walk
that you
back.
also heard them running off in this direction.
Oh goodness. And so she'll like run inside, knock on the walls. Guys, so like the sheep ran away.
I noticed.
Yeah, I'm here to get you guys. Come on.
She'll go wake Miranda up.
How does Miranda normally wake up in the morning?
I imagine she's kind of bleary-eyed and reluctant. Not yet cogent enough to be totally put together. What? Sorry. Did anyone start some coffee?
We have to
No
go immediately.
time. Oh my gosh, coffee is like such a luxury. You can't have that right now. We need to get out and go find the sheep because they ran off into the forest.
All right, just give me a moment.
No,
And she
now.
she sits up and scowls at Ayana. Just give me a moment. She'll get up,
Alright,
do
whatever.
a couple of quick stretches just to like wake up, and then she'll throw her clothes on and her coat on and head into the forest with them.
Heard. In that case, I'm gonna go ahead and have y'all. Ooh, sorry, my light just started flashing in my house. I'm gonna go ahead and have you guys make a survival check, each of you.
Okay.
But of course.
Well.
That was a nat one.
Oh goodness.
Oh no. Alright, so let's see, that was.
Nice. Matilda
Oh,
did
dirty
well.
20 for Miranda.
Oh, nice indeed. Alright, then I will definitely say, while you are all actively trying to figure out what is going on, Ravi, you are looking as if you're looking to find a bird or a monkey in the trees. You're looking up into the like tree cover, just like they might have climbed. Uh, Ayana, you can kind of point out the direction that they went, but Miranda is the one that finds the tracks. As you're following the tracks, you see uh, just a collection of hooves in the mud when they start to get a little bit bigger and the ground switches from that mud to grass, in which case you just see the flattened grass, no more hoof prints.
Can I attempt to mimic a sheep's bleat? Or a sheep's
You
can
are
baa?
do it on
more
the
than welcome
microphone.
to.
No,
Yes, you have to actually mimic it.
I don't want
Go.
to.
You
It's
just asked
late
if
and
you
I'm
could.
tired and my spouse is in the other room.
Ah.
What am I rolling for this?
Um, that is a fantastic question.
Performance?
Let me.
I feel like that's a performance.
You know what? Yeah, let's say that's a performance check.
Great, I have a -1 in that. Total of 13.
Okay.
All right. You do it all right. But I definitely will say that perhaps you might have made them a little uncomfortable. You hear a little bit more rustling, but can't quite catch an eye on them yet.
Well, that wasn't the intended effect.
Well, like what was? Because I'm not entirely sure. I don't usually go around like buying at things. Did you think that they were just gonna come like baw back to you? What's
Oh.
up with that?
In
I
an
actually
ideal
have an
scenario,
idea.
yes, that was exactly what I had hoped would happen.
While they're doing this, Ravi is actually going to kind of wave a hand across, kind of move it across her shield a little bit, and kind of wave it in the direction of where the rustling is, as the sound of a bleeding sheep that is much better than what Miranda did sounds over there. She is
Rude.
casting thaumaturgy to produce the sound of a sheep bleeding.
Well, not all of
Right.
us have magic at hand.
You send out this bleat to the other sheep in the woods, and you just hear back an occasional meh from a few different directions, but all generally in the same vicinity.
If we
Well, I
burn
think we
down
found
the
them.
forest, the sheep will come running out.
No, you're not
It's the
supposed to be the
perfect
chaotic
crime.
one. No, you're not the chaotic one.
That's what you think.
Actually, I just checked. There is no hand waving because that spell is verbal only. Never mind.
You have to baw too.
I mean, you could always hand wave as well. Just because it's not
Yeah, true,
necessary for
true.
the spell doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, I'm going to go ahead and switch y'all over to a new map
Ooh, new map.
as you begin making your way into the woods. Let's see how long it takes to shift the map on over. Oop.
Nice.
All right.
I'm gonna have to steal.
So
this
it
map
is
from you.
still.
I'm gonna have to steal this map from you.
Oh, of course, feel free. It is still a little bit dark out as the sun hasn't quite crested over the horizon. It has that slight blue tint to it. As you are walking through, you finally find a bit more of a pathway. As you're looking through, you can. I'll piggyback off of the last check that you all made. Miranda, you see a few different types of footsteps in the path ahead of you. You see some that look like humanoid bare feet footprints. You see some that are a bit more hooved. You see some that could resemble that of um, a satyr walking through as well. There are a few different types as they continue through. Is there
Mer-
anything any of you are looking to do at the moment, or any role playing if you want to discuss as
I
you're
mean, right now, I
traveling?
think we're just following Miranda, who is presumably following the tracks.
If
mean-
it's dark out, Miranda's not following much. She can't see in the dark.
Let me see if I have a spell for that.
Is she
Well,
human?
they're figuring that out. Ayana will be keeping watch more for plant life, specifically irises.
I do not.
Either of you have a solution for the dark? Unfortunately, I wasn't prepared for pre-dawn excursions.
So,
Yeah,
like,
when
what do
you
you
were-
mean, like, for the dark? So,
I
like,
have candles.
yeah, I mean, candles, torches, those types of things. Is that what you mean?
Sure. I think a torch would be good.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lantern, I've got candles. Yeah,
If you
we
don't-
got stuff.
If you don't mind lending it to me, the lantern would be very helpful.
Oh yeah, here you go.
All right, so we'll take a moment to light up the lantern, and then I will continue along the path. And this is all very curious. Excuse me.
Yeah, I will definitely say while you were a bit closer to the pen that all the goats and sheep were in, there was still a little bit of that light from the torches that were on the corners, but once you started actually following the prints into the woods and following the sounds, it got much darker from the tree coverage.
Makes sense. Yeah.
We've got
Yeah.
a lantern. We're good.
Yeah, and even still, I'll say that there's a whole canopy above you, but there is a pretty obvious pathway that you are finding yourselves on.
Oh my gosh,
Are
Robbie,
you
catch up.
following? Is there something
I am.
distracting back there?
I was just trying to look for the tracks.
The tracks are on the ground.
Yeah, and if any of you want to make another survival check or investigation,
I like investigation.
Let's
I like
see,
that
which
movement
one
that
of mine is
Robbie
better
did.
here? My survival's actually better.
Yeah.
My survival is slightly better.
Really? I rolled another nat one?
Oh, Robbie.
Apparently,
Robbie
That's a
just seems to
19.
be.
Apparently,
She's just
you
not
needed
familiar
to,
with animals at all.
You need to atone to your god.
Yeah, I was gonna say you need to pay for that one nat
Her goth
20 you
is-
had last session.
I was gonna say her. Yeah, she's just not good with animals at all. So
Yeah, it's understandable. At least you don't think all of them are dogs, so that's something.
Oh, the Cesario roast.
Everything's a dog. The big dog, the little dog, the flying dog.
she's just kind of looking around in general for anything that looks out of place.
Yeah,
And Diana's just actively looking for that flower.
yeah. With the idea in mind that you were looking specifically for the flower, I will definitely say that as you are walking down this path and keeping an eye out on either side for any hints or clues, you do start to see some irises budding, but you can kind of tell just by looking at them that they're not exactly what you're looking for. That might be even like deeper into the woods. That it might take about a day's trek to get out there.
Okay, cool.
And Miranda, with that 13, as you get up to around here, you notice that a lot of the footprints, both hooves and humanoid alike, kind of trail off into the edge and either fully disappear or leave light indents in the dead grass surrounding this house. The house itself is a little dilapidated. Um,
Is there a smell of cooking lamb from within the house?
no. There is no smell of food outwardly at all. Um, you see that there is a slight glow coming from the windows of the house, but there's not much in the way of sound or smell or anything.
Curious. The tracks seem to stop here. Can I
And yet-
carefully and like stealthily approach the house, see if there's a window to peek through or anything? I'll leave the lantern just like right here next to the road, so there's like a radius of light from it, but it's not
Yeah, of course.
gonna be super bright in her hands against the window.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
As you wish.
I will say, as you are walking up to the window, you do see a shovel and an axe on the ground.
Noted. Give me just a moment. I'm double checking what I have to hand. Okay. Sorry, I thought I had taken one of the Battlemaster maneuvers that might have affected a perception check, but that does not seem to be the case. Never mind. It was a 7.
All right. With a 7, you look into the window of the house, and one of the lights inside is just slightly glaring on the window, so you can't get a very clear look. But you don't see anybody inside. It seems empty, old, like things might be broken.
Okay. Can I sort of like touch the walls, investigate around, see if there are any signs of like magic at play? Coming from Arian, I imagine she's experienced a number of, illusions occasionally and such. Subterfuge is practically the primary export of that city.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Can you repeat one more time what it is that you like? What you wanted? Did you want to roll for something?
I'm just trying to investigate the house to see if there's anything illusory about it.
Oh yeah, of course. In that case, since you said illusory specifically, I'll go ahead and have you roll an Arcana check.
Oh, good. I don't think I'm good at that. I'm not. I am
Ooh.
really not.
So
Another
many
nat
nat ones this session.
I will say that she like steps around the front of it and she starts to reach out towards the building, and a bug flies like right into her throat as she is trying to she like has her mouth open like she's about to say something, and a bug
No, it
just goes
doesn't
in
even
and she
go
starts
in
like
her mouth. It goes up her nose and down.
Oh.
she starts hacking very quickly, distracted from the house, and she's is like coughing and trying to get it out for a moment. That was unpleasant. Sorry.
Yeah, it totally looked kind of bad. You probably should not do that again.
I'll keep that in mind, right. The house seems to be empty. It seems quite old. I'm not sure why the hooves stop here.
Abby's gonna kind of look around and look for the source of the light that's coming out of the house. She's gonna kind of just move around and see if she can see where the light is coming from.
Yeah, of course. As you take a little look around the house itself, go ahead and roll me a perception check because this is really fun. I
Okay.
love seeing all
Watch
the.
me
I'm
roll
really
another-
hoping.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping
That's a
for you.
22.
Yes, that's so good. Yeah, you check on the opposite side of the house from where Miranda was. Um, there is no light glaring on the window that you're looking through. In fact, it almost seems like there's not really any glass there at all on this side. Seems to have been broken. There are little bits of glass on the ground, a little bit inside, and some still on the edges of the frames. As for the lights inside of the house, they seem to be just old lanterns that haven't entirely gone out yet. They might be powered by something magical, but as it stands, it's kind of weird that they're still on.
Hmm. Are there any sign of the sheep anywhere? I mean, I know they were like this direction, but we haven't seen any since we came here.
You are unsure, but as it stands right now, this is about the biggest lead that you have, as it seems that all of the prints have stopped in the grass just in front of the house.
Well, I propose that we go in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason why not to. It's a house, it's here, it needs to be kind of like explored. It's so dark and like, ew, more bugs, gross.
All right, so
Perhaps we'll
everybody
just look
decides
for
to head
a
on it.
yeah, or head on in.
What a shame.
Yeah,
We should have brought a gift of some kind.
I don't think that will be necessary.
It's never necessary, but it's a great way to make a good first impression.
We didn't even know that there was going to be anybody here. It's kind of weird to see like a house out here, honestly.
Does it
An
happen to be
abandoned
made
looking
of
one, no
cookies and
less.
candy? Sorry, what was that? I didn't. I kind of cut you off there, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, you were talking to me? I didn't. I
I
think.
thought you said something. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I just
Um.
said it looks to be abandoned. Is all.
Oh, gotcha. Um. Just to see if anything happens, I'll knock on the door. Just like 3 steady knocks.
like you're asking for sugar in a neighborly way.
Uh, a little more forceful than that, but not like you said earlier, not like an FBI open up kind of knock.
Heard. Uh, you knock on the door and listen for a moment, and there doesn't seem to be any ruckus that you can hear. But on that third knock, the door slowly creaks open, letting the light pour out onto your faces just a little bit. Not bright, but just enough to allow you to see a little bit better into the house. And
How
it is
ominous.
in rough shape.
I suppose we should enter. We've been
Indeed.
invited in, truly. It is in rough shape, good lord.
Yeah, as you enter in, you see that it seems like it was more of a one of those one room fits all. You can see an area where if a family had lived here, they would be able to relax by a fireplace to keep warm. Um, Beds and
You
dressers
might want to
and.
move the view.
Ooh, am I going up or down?
If any of the tokens move, it's gonna wiggle again. I do my best with the stream view, but it is a little fussy sometimes.
We're figuring it out. We're getting better every time.
We could also probably shift over to the full screen view.
Yeah, that might
If
help.
you like.
Yeah, I think that's all right. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and continue on with my description.
Please, yes.
Uh,
Anyway.
you see the beds and the dressers and old storage compartments like bags of rice and wheat have been ripped open. The table has been almost completely crashed through. Pardon the example, but like similar to like when you're watching like wrestling and like someone is like thrown through a table, uh, like just broken in half. You can see the what is the word? The drapes on the windows, moth eaten and gently blowing with the wind from outside.
Is there any sign in here of where the light's coming from?
I forgot to add them, but I will say that there is those somewhat potentially magical lanterns in areas like over by this the seated area by the bed, one over here, and then one close to the entrance.
Out of curiosity, it looks like there's a thing under the rug right here. Is that
Hmm.
as visualized on the map, or is it a
Yeah.
thing? Ah. Do, 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 do.
I love
Um,
everybody
Dancing on the
dancing.
trapdoor.
is that a trapdoor?
Well, I surely know, but do you truly know?
That is why I'm asking you. You are the
Would you like to check
DM.
for traps?
Let's
Oh,
like check some traps.
I don't know that I would. Okay, so I asked if it was a trapdoor, like the kind of door. I don't know that Miranda
Ah,
would think to check for traps. So if it
gotcha,
is a
gotcha.
trapdoor, she would just like try to pull it open, probably.
It is a door.
If it is a door, Ayana would probably be like, no, 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 wait, hold on. Like, wait a minute. Don't just grab that. She
Oh,
will try to check for to check for traps.
All right, no problem. I'm gonna go ahead and have you make an investigation check.
I would actually like to give you guidance on the. Never mind, you don't need it.
All right.
you don't know
Like,
that. Could be a DC 25.
it could be like a DC 30, and even the guidance wouldn't help. We aren't entirely sure. But she's seen her fair share of trouble in her life, and so she's extra cautious. Like, totally like let me check that out first. Step away, step away. I got this. Are there
Yeah,
Okay.
so
traps?
you check the door thoroughly for traps, and as it stands, there's nothing directly attached to the door, but
Weirdly
you do hear
evasive phrasing.
rustling below.
Okay, so like the door itself seems like it's probably okay, but there's something underneath. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's like a guard dog. I don't know if it's like the owner of the house. I mean, like if you wanted to get a gift right now, maybe you could like try to get a gift and throw it in the trap door. Maybe they'll like it that way. I don't know.
That is too much of a walk back to town at the moment. Well, should
I
we?
propose we just go in.
That was going
Yeah,
to be my
totally.
question. Should we just go in?
I mean, the door's open. It's not going to hurt us, but I can't promise that what's in there isn't going to. So, yeah, just be ready.
Of course.
Always. All right.
Then it's a question of who would like to go in first. I could, but
I'll go in first.
okay. I'll be like second.
Fantastic. I totally like being last so that if I need to leave, I can.
I was going to say, is it so you can run?
Yeah, basically.
Of course, I
Yeah.
understand. You must take care of yourself first. Okay. Um, I will open the
In that
door and descend. Is it stairs or a ladder or just like a drop?
It's just a hole. You just go
it's
plop.
stairs.
Okay. I will begin descending the stairs with lantern in hand, keeping an ear out and an eye out for anything of note or anything that intends us harm.
Yeah. I will say for one, the lantern isn't really necessary. It seems pretty well lit down here as well. But as you get to the bottom of the stairs, you see a goat.
There's a goat.
As you all slowly come down the stairs, you hear various and
Oh my gosh, there's like more than one goat.
I think we found them.
But why are they here? Why is all of this food here?
Maybe that's what they were after.
And-
Sure, but who put it here? Why did they know it was here from so far away?
Why do they have chairs for goats?
Right. A very good question. Hello?
Perhaps this was a.
Is there
perhaps
anyone
this was
here?
a dwelling area of some sort.
Still doesn't explain chairs for goats.
I did forget to add people to my map, but that's okay.
They're
'cause
invisible now. They're invisible.
I go sit down and I sit in somebody's lap. Sorry about that.
I lost what I was gonna say. I forgot.
Oh, I'm like scrolling so fast to try to find people. That's not working so well.
In,
Anyways, partial theater of the mind, as you
If
all
you-
ascend down. Go ahead.
in the compendiums section, here on Foundry, you could just grab, however many you need, of the from the starter heroes, compendium. It's just a number of top-down view humanoid characters.
Cool.
If you wanted
That
something real
works.
quick, like that might be an easy thing to do.
Yeah, no, that's nice. I will also state that none of the people that you see are armed with anything. They are wearing like burlap, just as reference.
Understood.
They also don't have health bars. Fine. We'll get a few different types of individuals here, you know?
Of course, of
That
course.
they're all having a time. Just sitting at this table, having a little snack.
Ayana's
Last
trying
minute
to take
planning.
a
Woo!
chair. No worries. To heck with it, we'll do it live is a pretty common phrase in my head.
Oh, of course. But yeah, I will say as you turn the corner, you see 6 adult individuals all wearing burlap style clothing and just eating directly off of the table, along
Hello.
with the 3 goats nearby.
Pardon me. Can you hear me? Do they seem to be reacting to words at all?
Uh, the one that is closest to you kind of like looks up and stares at you for a second, but goes right back to eating.
Curious. Perhaps they don't speak common. Do they all seem to be humans?
They all seem to be humans.
Where are my
That
languages?
is very strange indeed.
Just for fun, she'll pretty much say the same thing in Halfling and in Gnomish.
Yeah, I'll say that they have the same, or at least similar reactions of a few of them at the table will look up to look at you, and then we'll just kind of like shake down to go back to eating.
Do they look okay? Like, do they look, unnecessarily tired or magically enthralled in some way?
They definitely look. Can I have you?
They for sure have an
Can I
appearance, you're sure of it.
can I have you roll a medicine check?
Medicine. You're picking all these skills that I'm not in. 16. Not bad. 16.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Um, as far as you can tell, they seem healthy. And like they're eating. They can hear you just fine, but
They're just actively ignoring us.
there's just something off about them. Something a little curious, a little strange.
Is the
Okay,
food
well.
behaving like food? Like,
Oh, no, don't do that.
like
No.
you know, when they eat it, it's gone. You know, it is doing what it's
Yeah,
supposed to. I don't know
Is
how
the
else to
food
yeah.
phrase it
alive
here.
and asking them to eat it?
Eat me! I'm delicious,
Yeah, no.
please. Um,
The food is disappearing when it's being eaten, because it's being eaten. There's nothing particularly weird about the food.
Riley will just kind of go over to a goat and just kind of try to kind of like lead it away from the basement. Is there
Yeah.
like any opening to the outside down here?
Is it
besides
just
the
the
stairs.
stairs?
It's
Yeah.
just the stairs.
She'll
Ayana's
try
gonna
to
do
lead
the
it up
same
the
thing.
stairs.
Ayana's doing the same thing as Ravi is, just kind of like going to a goat, trying to lead the goat up the stairs.
Yeah.
Does
You can do so. The people at the table don't really seem to notice, or if they do, they don't really care.
do the You said all of them are wearing burlap,
Mhm.
like type stuff. Does all the food seem equally fresh? Does any of it seem like it's going off? You know, like is
They
there a
are in
timeline evident in the food?
there are variant degrees of ripe versus overripe versus rotten.
Okay,
Um, but nothing is like so rotten it would make them severely ill. It's
right,
like, yeah. And they seem to be avoiding the stuff that is fully rotten.
right. As far as I can tell, they don't seem to be addled in any way. Curious. Can I
I
look?
mean,
Maybe
it
they
is
are merely
kind of.
mute.
I mean, it is kind of like rude of us to be talking about them as though they're not even here. Hey guys, hi. I'm Ayana. This is Miranda, and this is Ravi. You got our goats, so we're just taking our goats back, okay?
The one that's sitting right here, named Randall by
Yes, Randall
the
by the. Yep.
compendium, will go ahead and turn to look at you, Ayana, and just.
Oh,
Okay, so like you're a goat too?
do
Or are
the
you just like a goat enthusiast? I'm not entirely sure because Miranda was buying earlier, and maybe you guys just found like the right. Maybe this is just your group. I'm not entirely sure.
do they have goat eyes? I wonder. Do the goats have human eyes? I further wonder. There's some spirited away shit going on here, and I need to know.
Oy.
Spirited away stuff. I didn't curse on stream. You can't prove I did.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I totally can't go back and listen to that again in a second. Nope.
Go ahead and roll some nature checks to examine the goats or the goat-like people.
Okay, I'll do that.
Son of a, it's a 5. I don't know anything.
Does it have to be
Fighter man.
nature?
Fighter man does whatever a fighter can.
um,
Can I fight? I guess investigation's not that much better. I could try nature. 10.
5,
Maybe a
10,
12.
15.
Yeah,
A lot of
there you go.
multiples of 5 here.
that is very satisfying. Miranda, at this point, with having to adjust your eyes to the darkness and then the brightness and then the darkness to the brightness again, and I'll just say, still a little groggy from being woken up without coffee or even breakfast. You're
Yeah.
just looking back and forth between like these people and these goats, and I mean, they don't look the same, obviously. And your eyes are just still a little too hazy to really see what their eyes look like.
Okay.
Ayana, you are definitely noticing that, like, people don't just baw for no reason, and obviously they can hear you. They've been interacting every time that you talk to them, whether it be looking your way or even just kind of a quick little glance before continuing to eat. So they can hear you, and
Have they been eating with their hands, or are they like down in a trough?
they are sitting, but like they are eating with their head like on the table.
Okay, that is a little off.
Ravi, this is very peculiar. These are very humanoid looking individuals, but with all of the intelligence and body movements of a goat.
I have to wonder if they were somehow sheep or goats that were turned into people
So,
by
like,
something here.
hold up. Do you think they're like people who've been turned into goats? Or do you think they're
No,
goats that are turned
the
into
other way
people?
around.
Okay. So, like, the thievery of the goats are turning them into people here. And then what are people doing?
Maybe we haven't found them yet. Maybe we have not yet found the source.
But we found the goats, and that's what we're getting paid for, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
the people, um, they still sound like goats. They seem to have the cognition of goats. Can we really say
So,
they were
like,
turned into people?
so are they maybe like under, I don't know, some sort of like higher? Aren't there spells that kind of like change people's appearance and can like make people look like other things? Maybe that works with goats too.
Out of
Perhaps there are.
curiosity, what is this over here?
That looks like it was at one point a campfire, but it has been long since unused.
Okay. Can I just like investigate around the cavern to see if there's anything of note, passageways, anything of the sort?
Yeah, of course. You are more than welcome to go ahead and make a investigation. And I will also say, with Ayana bringing up the possibility of magic, if you want to make an Arcana, you are more than welcome. Or if anybody else wants to join on the Arcana check,
Yeah.
also.
I'll
I,
try.
apparently, I should have put lucky on this character.
17.
Good lord. So I got a 7.
Now I'm starting to roll well.
Seven's a lucky number.
Not in a system that goes as high as 20.
Yeah. I got a 17 at
Are you
least.
doing an Arcana check also, Miranda?
Oh,
Or just the
yeah, I can.
investigation?
I'm sorry. I thought you were just telling Ayana to do that.
Oh,
Give me
no.
a moment. I misunderstood. Oh, well, I'm consistent.
No.
Very consistent.
Uh,
Everyone else gets my bad rolls today.
All right. So I will say, Miranda, your investigation is, this is very much a standard, I guess, like storage basement. There were boxes around, some with some more like preserved foods that have been long since emptied, um,
yeah,
pillows and clothing items that have been chewed.
she's 100%
Uh,
assuming this is just what basements are like.
oh yeah. And then Ayana and Miranda on those Arcana checks, like, yeah, you've heard of disguise self, and you know that works on people, but
So
not
like
sure
maybe,
if that could be used in another way towards like an animal to give them more humanoid
all right. So like
appearances.
maybe there's some sort of magic out there that can make a goat look like a people, so that you can use disguise self on the people and make them look like different. No, that doesn't make sense. Why would I do that?
And then I'll say for Ravi, our high roller for the moment right now.
Someone has
uh,
to.
yeah, Ravi, you remember hearing of werewolves once before. And this is kind of similar. I mean, yeah, these are people, but they seem to be acting very goat-like still. They haven't adjusted to the more humanoid aspects of arms and legs being bipedal.
I have to wonder if this is some strange form of reverse lycanthropy or something.
what?
Like they are normally, goats, but
They've
when
been
conditions are right, they turn into people, or vice versa.
goats under the
That's
curse of
really
man.
weird.
You hear a bleat coming from one of the men at the table, almost confirming that the conditions happen to be right. As the one here on the very end gets up and falls to the floor, like falls onto all fours, eating from this box.
Hmm.
Curious.
In that case, I have to wonder what is the condition.
Super weird.
I mean, do we just take them back to the farmer? It does
Well, I mean, like,
seem
I
that's
to
them
suppose
be the
so.
getting
missing
paid, right?
goats.
If we bring them back, then we explain that, like, they've got little weregoats going on. It's not our fault that they're weregoats. We still need to get paid.
Wait a minute. They said that the goods were disappearing at night, correct? Does that mean it has to be nighttime in order for them to be transformed?
You're asking me like I know? I don't know. I know everything you know. I'm not sure.
It's possible. It's a possibility.
It's not
Okay.
currently night.
But it's also like downstairs in a dark. Maybe it's just darkness.
I mean, isn't it like just before dawn or something? It's technically still
Yeah,
nighttime.
it's still not
Yeah.
dawn yet, right?
I mean,
Well,
I
as you
just
can tell
assumed
right
by.
now,
Yeah.
as you can tell right now, considering that you're in a basement, it might still be nighttime. It might have the sun might have already risen. You're unsure.
Okay, so here's my suggestion, guys. Okay, everybody grab some food, wave it in front of the goats, wave it in front of the weregoats, see if we can get them to come up the stairs and lead them back to the farm.
That sounds like a good plan as any.
Sure, may as well.
Yep. Let's just grab whatever food we can.
Just put
All right.
Go for like the fresher looking food.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you see some fruits, some vegetables, and some bread that all look pretty fresh.
Yeah, Robbie will just like start gathering up some fruit.
I'll gather up some vegetables, and carrots and the like.
Yeah, and
Come on,
as you
follow
start to
us.
lead them back up the stairs, you have both goat and man goat alike following you out of the building. Uh, it is still just before sunrise. You can see just through the cloud cover as the sky starts shifting from that purple to a bit more of an orange and then a blue. And as the sun crests on the horizon, you look back to your man goats as they turn into full goats.
Maybe if we had found them a couple of hours earlier, they'd have been speaking common.
Maybe. But like now we can actually take the goats back, and that's gonna be super cool because then we'll definitely get paid.
How much are we supposed to be getting paid for this?
So the flyer itself did not say an exact amount. Um, but considering the fact that you have found all of the goats, it is likely that she will pay you as well as a farmer can.
Well,
Of
let's go
course.
back and tell them and tell them what we found.
Absolutely. Let's go do that. Should we tell them the whole weregoat thing, or should we just let them like do that again and then like go find them and bring them back again?
I was.
I
I,
have
I
a feeling we should
was.
tell them.
I was going to say it is a shame that we can't actually tell them because we don't know what is going on.
I mean,
We
like,
can at least tell them what we know.
yeah, it's like theoretically we could tell them, yeah, your goats are missing because they turn into people and they wander off. But we could just like not tell them that, and then like when their goats go missing again, we just come back here, we pick them back up, we get more gold. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah, it's the perfect crime. For now, let's just get them back in the first place, although I doubt this small town farm is going to have much to pay us with multiple times.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and say as you are all walking back, the goats are much easier to direct now that they are all goats.
Goats, yeah.
And you make it all the way back to Packwitch, back at Abigail Ludis's farm, with a small army of goats at your heels. Um, some of them have been occasionally like nibbling on some of your clothing if you have any that like hangs down a little bit lower if they haven't been able to get food from you.
I can
Uh,
imagine that some may have been eating her hair.
yeah.
They've
So
probably
nice and
been eating.
fluffy.
They might have been
Miranda,
nibbling at Ravi's cloak.
Yeah, Ravi's cloak is a tattered mess.
Yeah.
Miranda frustratedly keeps pulling her long coat away from them. She refuses to let them nibble on it.
Every time you pull it away, you get like a slight little headbutt in the back of the calf.
The one that is
um,
being particularly problematic, she'll like kneel down and just like pop him on the forehead with the heel of her palm.
it
No.
kind of like pushes back against your hand, and this is going to be funny and just for giggles. But go ahead and roll me just a straight strength check.
Of course. I do have an 18 for strength. Not that the dice care. It's an 11.
Isn't that fun that the dice don't care sometimes? And you're like, I'm supposed to be good at this.
Mhm.
So I rolled a 16 for the goat.
Oh, goat.
So the goat kind of like headbutts back, and you lose a bit of balance. As you just stumble backwards a little bit. Since it
You
wasn't
fall into a goat pat.
since it wasn't a huge difference in the rolls, I'll say that you can still like remain upright. You don't fall onto the ground, but you do definitely stumble back. Trip over yourself a little bit. Feel that good old heat of
What?
embarrassment.
What a problematic little thing. I will be glad to be rid of you.
Yeah, and as you make your way back over to the back of the house, you see Abigail standing on the back porch. She's waving to you all of, "Oh, thank you, you found my goats! My babies!" And she opens up the gate to let all of the goats back inside. And just, "Oh, where did you find them?"
Miranda will
Before
like
she
throw
says-
the food that she was carrying into the pen to hopefully entice them in.
Before she
Oh, yeah.
says anything more, Ayana will just kind of look to Ravi and just be like, "Oh my gosh, they're her children. No wonder they're sheep."
We found them in this abandoned house that was in the forest.
An abandoned house.
You would
I
do well to keep an eye on them, a closer one, if you have the ability. It seems like they are more capable than you realize.
I see. I suppose I could have the gate built a little bit taller. It seems like they must be jumping over it, so
Yeah, I
I-
did that, and maybe like lock it.
That was going to be
and
my suggestion as
yeah,
well. Get an
maybe
actual
something-
lock for the gate.
something that would be like harder for things to like open just in general. I mean, I know that they have hooves now, but think about like if they had opposable thumbs, how you'd still be able to keep them inside.
like evolution. I see. Give me just one moment. I'll be right back. And she runs inside of the house, and she's like wearing like as it's just reaching like sunrise, still very early in the morning. She's like wearing her like little moo like she comes out carrying a small tray, some coffee for each of you. She sets it onto like a table on her back porch with some cream and sugar as well. She's, "Oh, please sit down, sit down. I'm gonna go ahead and grab you guys some payment. It's not much, but it's what I can swing. And I will go ahead and have the local carpenter build up some taller gates for me. Thank you."
Good luck.
Ravi will just nod, and she'll take a cup of She'll take a cup of coffee and just kind of drink it black.
Yeah, I think Miranda also drinks it black.
Please tell me Ayana is like,
A lot of cream,
let
a
me
lot of
have
sugar.
like
All the
90% cream.
Yeah, it's like more sugar than coffee. She'll just like put it in, make it like super floofy. She'll like spin it around, and she wants like that frothy milk type of thing. So basically, the coffee needs to look like her hair.
Perfect. Just as you finish making your coffee, Abigail comes back outside with little satchels, and she hands you each a little satchel. Each are containing about 15 gold.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
wow. Beautiful.
I will add that to my inventory.
Thank you so
Is it
much.
for each person, or is it split?
For each person.
Why do I have... Okay, yeah.
She
So
had
that should be
45 gold
15.
just kicking around. She could have just bought more goats.
I
She
know, right?
loves her goats.
This is what
I mean, if you lost your dog, would you just be like, well, I have the money to buy a new one?
we know
If I
that
lived
these
in
are
a
like
world
her
with
children,
dragons,
too.
yes, absolutely I would.
As Ayana takes her like little satchel, she just kind of gives Miranda a knowing, like, we could just go. Like, she's got 45 gold. We could definitely let the goats out again and like go get them again. It's totally fine.
Reminder that she did say that it was all that she could scrape up at the moment.
At the moment.
You know,
Yeah, you are right. You never know. She might pop off at the next farmer's market.
I mean, it
What does
took
she
a
have
while
for
for
money?
all of her goats to be gone anyway. It's not like they all left in one night. So, you know, she has time to build up the money again.
Indeed. Just like come back, check in next month. It'll be good.
Just
I-
release one goat at a time.
It reminds me of a story I heard once about a party whose druid would, like, turn into a missing animal so they could collect the reward
I like that.
and then, like,
That's so
run away.
messed up. That's so messed up.
I had a druid. I still have a druid, but I have a druid who like turned into a turtle for a turtle race just to win it.
You also have a druid who summoned 16 geese.
Yes, it's the same druid.
Oh, really? That was also Zai?
Yeah, it's also Sai. Like, yep.
I love Zai. Zai's awesome.
All right.
Um,
Unfortunately,
yeah,
it is
with-
getting rather late.
Yep. We've
yes,
gone
I was just
past
about
time.
to
That's a
wrap
cool
it
thing.
up.
Sorry, please continue.
Yes, as you are drinking your coffees and have just gotten your payment, it is about, we'll say, 9 a.m. at this point. And you are ready to start the rest of your day next week.
All
Suppose we
right.
should go find that flower now.
We should.
Mm-hmm.
And Diana already has gotten a clue that it is beyond the house.
Mm-hmm.
So at
We
least you
don't
know
know about
some
that
of
clue,
the.
though.
That is true. But Ayana
Over
does
coffee,
know.
Over coffee, she'll tell people this time, just so that we can start in with everybody aware of it.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
All
Alright.
right. Thank you so much for playing. I hope you enjoyed my Were Humans.
Yeah.
Thank you for
We're people.
playing it. I was
Mhm.
expecting a fey witch of some kind to try to turn us into animals.
That was an idea that I had, but I was like, I have quite a combat planned out. So I'd really like to focus on the one big combat as opposed to another small one that might bleed over into another session.
Heck yeah. You're so good at planning. I respect it.
That's a bummer. I would have liked to see what animals everybody would have become.
I can actually tell you what I would have chosen.
Yes, let us know. What would we have been?
Ayana would have turned into a hare.
Okay, fair.
Ravi would have become a oh, what are I don't remember what they're called in game, but like the winged cats.
Oh,
Tressins.
Tressum?
Yeah, Tresson. And then I was going to have Miranda becoming almost like a like an eagle.
Oh. I think she'd like to fly. I think she'd be into that. Alright, I will switch us over to credits in just a moment, and We will see all of you next time. Of course, a quick
Live at
reminder.
5.
Next week, there will not be a Curse of Tearsol game. It will be a downtime stream, and then that will lead into a slightly longer For Hire game. We will
Yes,
see
where
you
we
soon.
potentially get into big combat.
Indeed.
Potentially big combat. It should be exciting and fun.
Loosely, I think we are also planning a downtime stream on Sunday, but we will determine that with certainty later this week. For now, have fun, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye. Huzzah. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
the benefit that we have